Yeah, I figured I'd record this shit when I'm on the road. I'm on my way to work. I'm just wanted to really briefly talk about a lot of the different things that happens when you're when you walk a certain path, when you really start to embody a certain energy, when you really start to, for lack of a better term, live your truth, your inner truth, and some of the side effects that happen and how that can impact your family, your loved ones, your marriage, your people's perception of how they see you. You know what I'm saying? The reason I want to make this video is letting you know that you gotta really be able to trust in what the fuck you doing. You gotta also understand that change will happen. It's gonna be drastic. It's gonna appear to those on the outside as something like you going crazy, or that you lost your fucking mind, or that you don't know what the fuck you doing. You got a lot of people around you that love you and shit that have no understanding of paranormal, supernatural type of events, those type of spiritual, metaphysical understanding or information or what have you. You see what I mean? So being able to trust in your power, trust in yourself, like I mentioned before in prior videos, I want to go in on that a little bit further. Like, cause the thing that happened to me, I'm gonna start back to the first little incident that I had back in '88, back in like April of '88. I was 6 years old. You know what I mean? And those events, those things that happened, as far as a lot of people within the New Age movement call it walk-ins. Like, you know what I'm saying? You had a walk-in spirit come in and another one went out, or different activations, different things that come online that you hear Bobby Hammond talk about, that you hear Panic talk about, and many others, Phil Valentine and what have you, where certain energy centers that open up. You know what I mean? As far as your radio body, your auric field, you know what I mean? I have no physical, like, I can't just prove this shit physically, show you this shit opened up and right here, but you know certain things come online, and when it happens, and when these things happen to you, they absolutely fucking change you. You become something new. You become something different. You can become upgraded. In my experience, upgraded. But you're gonna absolutely fucking change. And I changed. And I was 6 years old when this happened to me, and I had absolutely no one to talk to about this shit. You understand what I'm saying? I had to keep this shit to my child. I had nobody to talk to about this. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that shit to feel bad about. Like, that's what made me be isolated. That's what made me, you know what I'm saying, made the left-hand path, or just being isolated consciousness, and me, and being able to cultivate my spirituality alone so much more impactful, because I was always alone when it comes to this level of information, this experience that happened to me. You see what I'm saying? So, but things like that happen and they change you. They absolutely change you. You see what I'm saying? I know a lot of you may understand some of this shit that I'm talking about, but understand something, that this doesn't mean that you crazy. You're gonna be looked at as a little different. I don't know what the fuck you want to call these niggas. What you want to call us? You can call us indigos. You can call us, I don't know, angels, fallen angels. And I'm just speaking from like this is me on my default level. Nigga, I just woke up and shit. You know what I mean? I ain't channeling nobody. This me being a rogue titan, Shannon, just really talking shit from, you know what I'm saying, just spitting this shit from off the top. But more so that, you know, the things that happen to you, the things that come online to you, they change you, they alter you. So I don't necessarily remember before this incident happened to me when I was 6, back in '88. I don't remember being able to do the things that I'm able to do now, or to do the things that I was able to do after that. Like, I was never confused. I always just knew shit. I was like, my intuitive nature was just, everything just made sense to me. I was able to see and understand how humans communicate. And then I looked at other people as if they was another fucking species for me. Like, I'm not even gonna bullshit you. Like, I knew I was in this body, right? I knew I was a corporeal body, arm, leg, arm, head, or whatever. Like everybody else, got black skin. I got brothers. I got father, mother. I go to school. But I was absolutely fucking different. And the only avenue, or the only other, you know what I'm saying, path or whatever that I had as a kid was like comic books and shit. It was like cartoons and shit. That really was a lot of that shit, believe it or not, was able to kind of like create the bridge of what the fuck was going on with me. As far as like my level of imagination, me being able to imagine shit and shit happen and not even be in awe about it. Just be like, of course it will. Why wouldn't it happen? You know what I'm saying? I made it happen. But I'm like 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of you may have telekinetic power. You're able to move shit. You know what I mean? Now I was able to just move people, not necessarily like make them move, but understand that I was able to sympathetically just connect with them somehow with their central nervous system. Now that I'm understanding, or if I'm talking to them, I was able to just become them and then just fucking just be them. Look, I'm talking about like if I'm talking to my mom or dad or somebody at school, I was able to talk to them, but see myself through their eyes and become them. Like I'm looking at myself when I'm talking to them. I'm like, wow, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And I was just able to just do this shit. Not able to, and I wasn't awe. But the thing is, I was not in awe about none of this shit. I was not terrified. I was not like, what the fuck is happening to me? I'm going, what the, you know, none of that. It just absolutely made sense to me. You see what I'm saying? And it just accelerated further from there, where me being able to just develop or just further cultivate certain, now I'm understanding, psionic abilities, psychic powers, and all that shit that we all love to talk about. And then it was another incident in 2004, where I talked about this shit before on one of my older videos. I'll leave it in the description box when I find that motherfucker. But in 2004, where it was a certain fucking alignment. I don't know what the fuck it was. I gotta go back. I tried to find information on this shit, but it was a planetary alignment. Some shit I heard on the news in December of 2004, where certain planets was lined up, and it was some shit that was gonna happen. Mind you, at this time, I was heavy off into studying Chelonic science and the Melchizedek Emerald Cloister Order or some shit, and I was dealing with all that. A lot of that new age movement shit, but there was a lot of that indigo children shit. I was understanding I was, I was beginning to understand I was a part of something different. A Course in Miracles, I had the book, did all the fucking courses and shit, and studied that shit hard, and realized that, you know what I'm saying, it was explaining a lot. It was a lot of information that I needed at the time to explain what it is that I was going through, and what it is that I was feeling at the time, and it was explaining it. It really was on a more right-hand path perspective of things. You see what I'm saying? But it was a certain planetary alignment that happened, and I remember seeing that shit, and I just remember the moment watching it on the news, Channel 7 ABC News, and something fucking in me just fucking blew up. Like, it was like an aha moment. It was like everything fucking froze in time. Like, I was supposed to hear this shit. I was supposed to be in my dad's room or whatever I was at, and being at that moment in time where they was talking about this shit on the news. It was very brief. They don't talk about a lot of cosmic shit on the news. And like, you know what I'm saying? They may bring it up a little, like, you know what I'm saying, a falling star or some shit. They may talk about it for a minute, but then they go back to some murder shit that happened in the D, you know what I'm saying, murder capital or whatever. But it happened for a brief moment, and I'm like, that's it. It just made fucking sense to me. And I just started fucking writing. You know what I mean? I had the journals and shit, and I just started writing shit. I don't know. I don't know what you want to call this shit, channel. I don't know what the fuck it was. But I was writing like a motherfucker about what the fuck I was feeling, about shit. I mean, I was able to just explain a lot of different things that I was going through at the time. And then to a lot of different people, I was acting out very strange. Like, nigga, Shannon, nigga, what the fuck is going on with you? I'm like, man, I can't even explain this shit to you niggas, man. You know what I mean? Because, like, mind you, at the time, I was heavy off into numerology. I was heavy off into astrology. I was always trying to figure out that shit because I was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with me, where I come from, what the fuck, what am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? What's my fate? You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is going on with me and shit? I'm just studying. I mean, I had hundreds of books. Niggas know me, nigga. I was a library for the hood back in the day. But I love being in nature. I love being around trees and hearing bugs and shit, but birds. But something happened, right? Something just fucking blew up. And when that shit took place, man, I just knew that I had to go on the path of self-discovery. And I didn't give a fuck how it looked. You know what I'm saying, nigga? I was the nigga that was supposed to be in the NBA. Nigga, you asked me 20 years ago where the fuck I'd be now. I've been like, I've been retired Hall of Fame basketball player, nigga, living in fucking who knows where, somewhere, living it up. But certain events, that was on the surface. Deep down inside, I knew I had a different, I knew I wasn't human. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I knew that whatever the fuck I was, it was something different, and it was something. Y'all heard me fart on the fucking camera. I don't even give a fuck. See? I don't care. Oh, let me stop this shit real quick. Like I was saying before, sorry about that, my niggas, but before I knew I was different. I knew I was I was strange. I was an enigma. And anybody grew up around me, and if they have conversations with me, they would attest that I was different. I was rare. I had a different understanding about the universe, about reality, and I always brought up different concepts and different mindsets to maybe apply or whatever. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? I got to paint the picture for you niggas to understand something. My father was a fucking hippie. My father went to fucking Woodstock 68. My father was heavy off into psychedelics, right? I'm talking mushrooms, mescaline, fucking acid, LSD, every fucking goddamn thing you can think of. And I was, nigga, he was heavy off into this shit. I'm talking about Jimi Hendrix, Sly Family Stone, Janis Joplin, all them. He used to run with circles that ran with them niggas and had access to all them drugs, right? And somehow he met my mom. And nigga, that shit was in him at the time when he had me. So a lot of the different things, you know what I'm saying? We grew up and shit. He used to be smoking or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Smoking a blunt or whatever. Hold on, niggas. I'm about to fucking hook my charger up. I'm gonna still be talking. But he used to just, you know what I mean? Be talking mad shit about a lot of this shit that I'm talking about. And I'm 4 or 5 years old, just sitting there catching contact, going back to back with him about this shit, about aliens, about monsters, about, you know, all kind of paranormal shit. And my father is heavy intuitive, man. He is very, very intuitive, able to just read shit and able to just know shit, you know what I mean? Dyslexic as fuck. Didn't graduate from high school and nothing like that. My dad was different. My dad had different experiences growing up, seeing ghosts and seeing fucking some shit happen to him or whatever, you know what I mean? But so I was like this as a kid, just being around him. Now this is before I was 6 years old. This is before any of that incident I was telling y'all niggas about. So